Okay, so we have another build for you today. So I'm just going to run over the parts, then we can get into the build. So the parts are it's a Gigabyte GA F2A58M HD2. This is an FM2 Plus motherboard, I believe. Under here we have an Athlon 860K. We have 8 gigabytes of HyperX Fury 1866 megahertz RAM. We have a Cooler Master Hyper 103 to cool this. This will obviously be coming off. This is a very good cooler, especially for the price. For graphics card, we have a GTX 750 Ti. It's from Asus. It does take a 6-pin. Some of the 750 Ti's don't. Now to power this, we have a Corsair CS450M. It's a modular, semi-modular power supply, and that should be enough to supply power to these parts. For hard drive, we have a WD Blue 1TB. We have a light on DVD reader writer, and we have 2 sets of fans here. Now, we bought these. We were going to use these white LED fans. They're from Silverstone, but we realized we had 3 blue LED fans lying around in the case, and considering the LED fan on this is blue, we decided we'll go for the blue and make it a black and blue theme build. Now, for the case, we have a Corsair 100R. Again, quite good for the price. Now I'm gonna unbox this. Great if it would come out. There we go. So we have your mounting brackets and stuff here in this little bag. We have all your manuals and probably warranty guides and whatnot here. And then we have your cooler, which is actually much smaller than I was expecting, but it should still cool an 860K well enough. Again, don't take this off until you're probably going to put it on. Let's see, Cooler Master up there. And this is a blue LED fan. So that's all the parts. Okay, so now we're just going to prep the case. That means putting in the fans, putting in the I/O shield, taking the plastic off the window, which I'm going to do now. Now I'm sorry if that's after messing with the camera. Making sure I didn't get a giant static shock from that, because they hurt. No, I'm just going to lay this down here. Before I do anything, should be able to see here. Oh, sorry, this is the Corsair 200R. Can't seem to be able to open boxes today. There we go. Jesus. So you have your warranty guide, a couple cable ties and that kind of stuff, and then we have some screws if you ever want to install fans at the front, or if you want to install a radiator. And we see Corsair I like because they usually give you more screws than you actually need, and it's just nice. They're nice to have around. So we have a box somewhere with a ton of screws in it. It probably weighs like 10 pounds with all the screws that are in it. But anyway, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take off this rear fan. There's the fan anyway. And there. Now there's another fan in the front, which I'm going to have to take the front panel off to get to. And it seems like to get that off, there's some little clips here. Just have to take off the other side panel. Go. And one clip should be here somewhere. There. And the other one there. And then there's two at the very top, which I missed. And there we go. Okay, so this fan, which came out of the front of the Aerocool Aero 800, will be going on the back here. Just use the same screws that the fan that was already there used. Now, we have these fans here. Take the screws out. I just had those in there for safekeeping. Now, there was already a fan here. Basically just went in like that. It's hard to get it back in. But anyway, we were wondering how on earth is another fan going to fit in here because there's no brackets for it. Then we realized that these holes there, there, there and there can seat a fan just on them, and they'll use these screws, same ones you'd use for a radiator. Just go through and then screw it to the other side. So now I'm going to put these fans on, and I'll come back to you when I have that done. Okay, so that's the fans on. We have our Aerocool one here, exhausting. We have our two, I'm not sure the brand of these ones, but they came out of the GameMax Atom, pulling air in. So this should be good. Now you can put two more fans up here, but you can put two 120 or two 140 fans up in the top, and it looks like 120 or 140 fan in the bottom. So you can definitely fit a good amount of fans in this case, so it seems to be pretty good if you want to do something like water cooling. You'd mainly only want to use the top one because, well, there's no real room for any other radiators. But okay, so here we have the front panel from our case. Now I'm going to take out this middle slot, and they seem to just be like tabs that you squeeze in towards each other, and it should come out. It's hard to get off. You can see here they're just little tabs that you have to try and squeeze in, these little ones. I think we got that one. They really hurt. Anyway, I'll find out a way to get this. And then, so these aren't, you don't have to push them in. These tabs literally just, or these little covers, just push out. Now we're just going to put this on. There we go. That's that. Time for power supply. So, as I said before, this is a semi-modular power supply, so these two cables are still attached. So we can just want to get this lined up, which it doesn't seem to want to do. There we go. Push that back and get our screws, wherever on earth they may be. Have them. And let me scoot in front of the camera and screw this in. So we have the power supply in. I took the cables just behind the motherboard tray. Now we're going to put on our hard drive. So if you see these little levers here, basically the hard drive slots in, which I'll do. Just like so. This locks onto it, and to get it out you push this side, I believe. You push that, basically this unlocks from the hole and you can pull the hard drive out. It's toolless but without having the trays that you clip and pull out. We're just going to put in the I/O shield. Now you just want to push all four corners until they go in. Now when you do this, some corners might pop out again, but just hold the one that you just have putting in, push it back in, and it should stay. Basically just a friction fit or tension fit, whichever way you want to say it. And then you put your motherboard in and the I/O should pop out here. So the standoffs we're using are these two, and one there and one there, which means these have to come out and two of them have to be reused here and here. So as you can see, we have these two standoffs in now. These standoffs along here are actually, excuse me belching, are actually part of the motherboard tray. They're like welded on, I think, so it's not too bad because they're not going to look out of place, kind of. They're just going to be there. But yeah, so we just use the spare ones that come with the case, put them here, and now we can put the motherboard in. But first we have to put on the new Cooler Master cooler. So now we're going to install our aftermarket cooler. It is a Cooler Master Hyper 103, and for thermal paste we have this. This is some Arctic MX2, and as you can see, it has a Hardware Canucks Damn Good award. And if you don't know who Hardware Canucks are, they are a very good tech YouTuber, Dimitri, and I honestly don't know the name of the other person who's on the channel, sadly, but they make amazing videos, incredible B-roll. So now we have to take this out of its packet because I haven't opened it yet, and we can install our cooler. So first of all, in order to put this one on, we need to take this cooler off. So that means unhooking this fan header, opening this lever, and then wiggle the cooler to loosen it from the actual CPU. There you go. Now that's the stock thermal paste. As you can see, it does not spread well, but it does actually, it will cool the CPU. So, stock cooler, goodbye, and good riddance. Now, we have some rubbing alcohol, also known as white spirits, and we are going to clean off the CPU. First of all, get all the wet thermal paste that's on it right now off. So I'm just going to take off the stock cooler brackets. That comes off like so. Now this one. And this one. Take off the back plate, hit the cameraman with the motherboard. That's a very important. So here's the back plate that we're going to use for the cooler. As you can see, we have 3 of the kind of posts already installed onto it. We're going to install the 4th and show you how you actually do it. So hopefully you can see this. If you see, there is a little kind of peg sticking out right here, or yeah, I guess you could call it a little peg. You can see it well there, kind of. Now this is like a normal hole that's drilled, except there's a little kind of cutout from it. You can see it. So now if I put this through, you can see this isn't sitting flush. If I turn it until that little peg is now into that cutout, it's flush. And then we take our little clip here, and the kind of solid bit will go over the back of the screw, and the open bit will go around the screw, like so. Just push it on, and there you go. They're not moving. So now, put this here. Just lower the motherboard down, like so. And then we can prep the actual cooler to go onto this. So here we have our little brackets, if you want to call them, that are going to go on kind of here, like so, and the cooler is going to sit on top of those. So they're going to go onto the cooler like so. We're going to get our screw that keeps these on. Just screw that down. And now you can get the other one. Get the holes lined up. Get the other screw. Screw that down. There you go. Give this one a little bit more tighten. There we go. And now we can apply our thermal paste, take this plastic off, and get the cooler installed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the plastic off of this. There we go. Now we're going to take some thermal paste, put it on the CPU. There we go. Now, there's so many different ways of putting thermal paste on. Some people use a little cross, some people use a line down the middle, some people put like a pea size on the top, and some people just put down some. I'm the kind of person that just puts down some because it'll spread out anyway. And now to install this cooler, we're going to install it like this, and that's because the I/O is going to be here, so the air is going to be drawn this way through, and it's also going to double to slightly cool the RAM. Since air is going to be brought this way, it's going to run over the RAM a little bit, and we should get some form of cooling. So now, there we go. It just sits down like that. Just get all these little bits started. That one doesn't want to go on, so I'll try this one. That one also didn't want to go on. Oh, I'll get this on and I'll come back to you. So we're going to now install our motherboard. I hit my hand on that was sore. Now, so we can take our motherboard. Now I know it looks tiny in this case actually. Can just go on like so, and then if you get everything lined up, which is probably the hardest part of all this. There we go. You can see the kind of like the center standoff is like a little peg that sticks up, and it kind of gets everything centered. Acts as like a pivot point for you to move your motherboard around. Now, if you look at the I/O there, it's all in line and stuff. Oh. We're just going to screw all these in. Here is our fan header for this CPU fan. I'm going to route it around the cooler like so. You can probably hear my mother talking to the dog in the background. There we go. That fits really nicely, no real cable management needed. And now I'm going to put in the motherboard speaker as well, because I usually forget to do this. And that goes just here, like so. And that's installed. Here's our GTX 750 Ti. We're going to install this now. We're going to take out this. And this thumb screw as well. I know you might be wondering, it's a thumb screw, why are you taking it out with a screwdriver? It's because Corsair like to put them on tight. So, there we go. Now, graphics card is going to just slip down like so. Just like that, and then we can put some screws back. This one. Just loosen this one a bit. Push the graphics card down like that. Just get it started and then you can do the rest with the screwdriver. It's a little bit easier. And now there we go. So for our graphics card, I have a blue extension here. I think it'll look nice going from here. Oh, whoops. Going from here like that and then out here and into the power supply lead. And for SATA cables, we have this one here that'll be going into SATA 0, which is that one. I'll use a straight end connector because it's back upside down. Out there. Turn this over. Going down there, which I wish it could go somewhere different, but sadly it can't with this case. And into our hard drive. And then we can cable manage that up eventually. And then when we take our DVD writer, that will just slip into the front here. And there we go, that's just about flush. And then we just have to get screws to screw that in. So I did the cabling, even though I said I was only going to do the front panel connectors, and I kind of went overboard and did everything. So everything's hooked up. Should just be ready to turn on now. As you can see, here's our little extension. And it's not the prettiest job I've ever done, but I guess this case doesn't allow it to be extremely kind of clean, but I think I did perfect for what I was working with. And plus, you're not going to be able to see any of this in the window. So anyway, so now I'll just so there you see it's powered on, and it has all the blue LED fans and stuff. And now I'm going to put on our side panel. So when I put the side panel on, I'm going to install a new copy of Windows 10. Well, Windows 7 first, then upgrade to Windows 10. On, and that looks nice. And you can see in the front the glow is coming through from those LED fans. So brand new copy Windows 10, and then this beaut will be going up for sale within the next 24 hours.